So this is all about completing the square. And this is a very nice thing because you can come in here really quick and say, okay, this is what I need to do to complete the square. So it says to find what number to add 2y squared plus 4y to get a perfect square, we do the following. Find half of the coefficient y. So the coefficient of y is the number right in front of y here. So you find half of it, and then you square that number. And that's what you add on to the end. So this is actually exactly what we're going to do in this next step. So just like we read in the example there, to do this one, to complete the square, what we want to do is we want to take half of that coefficient of w, in this case, which is 14. So I'm going to take half, and then I'm going to square that, and I'm going to say 49. And that's simply what I add on to the end here is 49. And that's completing that pattern, that completing the square. So we are good to go on that guy. So this is just about pattern recognition for some of this stuff, and it's a quick way to solve things as well. So solve the quadratic equation by completing the square. First, choose the appropriate form. So you can see we have two forms here. We have to choose, is it addition or is it subtraction? So if it's all addition, it's going to be addition. If there's a subtraction sign in here, and it will be this middle one here, then that's when we choose subtraction here. So we want to do, this one's a little different. And I'm going to go ahead and click on example here, and you can see there's a calculator button also, so it did pop up. If I click on example, this one's a little different because it has an equal on it. The last one was just an expression. It didn't have the equal to. So now what we want to do is we want to get it in this form here, meaning we want just x squared plus 4x on one side, and we want the regular constant on the other side. And that way, when we complete the square, we can actually see we can put it right into this square form here. It makes it very, very easy or very quick to put it into this format if we do this correctly. We're still going to take half of the middle term and add it, but we add it to both sides. So I'm going to exit out of this really quick. And once we get down here, we're going to actually solve this by taking the square root of both sides. So if I take this and I go x squared plus 10x, and I want to subtract 19 over to this side, so I'm going to have minus 19. And I left this open on purpose. I'm going to have plus a number, like this. So this just shows me I have some blanks to fill in. So I want half of that middle term, and then squared. So I'm going to have 25 and 25. Well, since this is a square, I know I can have x plus the square root. So I'm taking the square root of the first and square root of the last, and then I'm squaring that. So that's why they have it in this form already. Because if we recognize this pattern, we can immediately put it into the factor form, which is x plus 5 squared, equals, and these guys we just want to combine these. So I have 19 negative plus 25 positive, so I get 6. So this is what I want to type in here is 5 and 6. I'm not going to fill this one in because I'm only using this form. So now down here, they actually want us to figure out what this answer is. So I'm going to use the square root property. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Well, the square root of this one, remember this is x plus 5 times x plus 5. That's what squared means. So I just have x plus 5 on this side equals, it's going to be plus or minus the square root of 6. Because I can have positive square root of 6 times positive square root of 6, and I'll get the same answer as negative square root of 6 times negative square root of 6. So whenever you take the square root like that, you have to do positive and negative. So I have x equals, sorry, I jumped ahead there without saying what I was doing. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Now I'm saying what I'm doing. So I'm going to have x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 6. So I need to do this twice. And I'm going to go ahead and do this on the calculator here so you can see it. So I have negative 5 plus the square root of 6 equals, here's my first decimal, and they want us rounded to the nearest hundredth. So there's my 100th right there. Or here, I'll highlight these past it. So I want to make sure that's a 0. So that just means they're going to round down. So it's going to be negative 2.55, comma. I'm also going to have another one. So I'm going to have negative 5 minus the square root of 6. Because I did plus, now I have to do minus, equals, and here we have it again. Now if I go to 100th, that's a 9 on my, right past my 100th there. So that means this is also going to drop off, but this is going to turn into a 5, right? I have to make sure I round correctly because yes, I will get marked wrong if I do not correctly round. So let's check that. And we are good to go there, yay!